Okay, take us in, Afolabi. Afolabi, are you with us? Oh man, it looks like
It's like
Afolabi.
he's freezed. He's freezed.
He's freezed. Okay, so I'll start us off. Okay, welcome to Africa Agenda. Today we're going to be focusing on Nigeria, and we're going to be focusing on the issue with Dangote, who is I'm 50 and I remember Dangote from when I was young, his father. He's done very
Hmm.
well. He's made a lot of money. But lately there's been a lot of back and forth between what role he's going to play in supplying and refining petroleum in Nigeria. Welcome, Warif. How's everything? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you
Okay.
for having me.
Yeah, so you're on ground in Lagos. I'm in the US. Let us know. Now, give us a breakdown. Apparently, he's supposed to Dangote has been refining diesel, but he was supposed to start refining petroleum goods, but
I
they
think
said, "Oh,
Mr. Faliba
he's back."
and Sahid
Yes, I'm back.
is also.
Oh yeah,
And
so
someone else has
okay,
joined.
let me finish my point because you know more than I do, Afolabi. But I was saying that. Oh, also let's say welcome to Saeed or to Knas. He's a musician from Nigeria, not South Africa, where they got rid of
Mhm.
Okay, Said,
our
welcome.
welcome. We grew up together in Dolphin. How's everything,
Oh,
Knas or Saeed?
fantastic.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Saeed?
Sahid's mic is on mute.
You're on mute. You're on mute. Yeah.
Okay, so he'll join us. Can we just continue?
Oh yeah. So Afolabi, just start us off. Give us a breakdown of everything. Before we start, I was just saying that Dangote, as you said yesterday, he's been refining diesel. Now he's supposed to be refining oil. But it seems like we have Nigerian enterprises that have things in Malta, and they're telling us that our petroleum is not pure enough when actually it's the purest grade in the world almost. Give us a breakdown of what's going on, Afolabi. Yeah.
So basically, the NNPC is supposed to be supplying the Dangote refinery crude oil to refine into automotive gas oil, which is diesel, petrol, and jet oil, which is fuel that airplanes run on, and all the various derivatives that form the value chain of petrol. But right now, it's only diesel that the Dangote refinery is still able to refine because the NNPC has refused to supply them crude oil locally. They're having to source it from abroad, and it's costing them a lot of money, making the domestic cost of petrol very, very expensive. So recently, the president intervened and instructed NNPC to start supplying the Dangote refinery crude oil. But still, the quantity that is required, they have not been given them. It's still being rationed, forcing Dangote to, make up for the shortfall by still importing the crude from outside. And they are now throwing it back at him, trying to undermine his refinery by saying that the quality of product that is coming from the refinery does not meet international standard. When in fact, Dangote petrol is of a higher grade compared to the ones that Nigeria is refining from Malta and Venezuela from outside. And we also heard that some of these refineries outside Nigeria are owned by power brokers and cartels in Nigeria that want to frustrate the Dangote initiative and ensure that it doesn't see the light of day so that they can continue to feed facts from this arrangement. So now he's getting annoyed. In fact, he said one of his friends told him not to invest in Nigeria, that look at all what is happening now, that he might have to sell off the refinery. So basically, in a nutshell, that is the whole thing, basically.
Yeah. So very quickly, that sounds to me like another form, not corruption, but it's opportunism. Everybody wants to make money off of it. So they're now basically taxing him, cutting into his profit margin and frustrating him after he took a $20 billion investment, which makes no sense. And he's doing very well. And some of these people have refineries in Malta and stuff where they're taking Nigerian oil and bringing it back, then selling it to him to refine again. Or is he going to distribute it? Or do they want him to refine it, to distribute it when they bring it back?
The problem is that the quality of petrol that is being imported it has a lot of sulfur content and it's not good enough.
Okay, but is that fuel, is that Nigerian fuel or is it from the Middle East?
No, it's the Nigerian fuel. It's the Nigerian fuel.
It doesn't make sense. Why don't they just get it from Nigeria and give it to him directly to do it? So they're sending it there to be refined and then re-refined.
none of our refineries are working at installed capacity.
Yeah, but
So
what about
right now,
Dangote's refinery though? His is working at
that's
capacity, right?
the only one. And
Okay.
because of this cartel and corruption, they are rationing the quantity of crude oil they are giving him because they want to continue to do.
It's self-defeating to send him something, and then when they give it to him, what do they want him to do? Refine it further, or what?
When they give him, he refines it and makes it available to the local market.
Yeah, so my thing is that it's still inefficient. Why don't they give it to him directly before sending it there to Malta and those places?
Exactly. Because they're making money off. They're making money off. Yes, it's a scam. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, Warif? Warif, yeah. I have to remember a million names. Yeah.
You see, what the FCT minister said. He said the government, they are not a good business person. They don't know how to handle business. So why is our refinery not working? Because to me, the same people that are in charge of the refinery, they are the same people that are exporting this thing, importing it. So if Dangote refinery will be meeting the standard and supplying the maximum fuel required, it will affect their business. So maybe because of that, they are just trying to frustrate Dangote, and no businessman will want to like it. Will like such type of thing.
And what he's doing leads the way for Nigeria to have we're refining our own things. We have our own private investors, and it goes against IMF and foreign companies that want to control it. And I'm sure that they too are behind this. What do you think, Warif? Also, is K-Naz here? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening to everybody.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome. K-Naz is a musician from Nigeria, and also he's a political scientist, and he's joined us for the first time. So we want to welcome you. Welcome very much. How's Lagos? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we'll get back to you as soon as Warif finishes his point. So Warif, what do you think? I'm saying that the government, it's also foreign entities, I think, that are causing this problem of frustrating Dangote. Continue. Yeah.
Some persons, I believe, some of the top hierarchy or the top persons that are in government position, maybe they are working with some of these foreign refineries. And if Dangote's refinery should be up and running, meeting the demands for the Nigerian citizens, it will affect them.
Yeah.
It will affect them. So maybe Dangote is not dancing to their tune, or maybe there's a breakdown in an agreement somewhere. That's why they're trying to frustrate him. We have everything in Nigeria. We have the crude oil in Nigeria. We have the manpower. So how come it's not working? The government, they should be ashamed of themselves. How can we have about 4 refineries? None is working. And now the businessman, individual that has a refinery that wants to make money and that wants to meet the demand of the Nigerian citizens, I think there is something that is fishing. Yeah, because every business person is out for profit.
It's a symptom of corruption and greed. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, but they're not doing it the right way. What are your thoughts, K-Naz?
I'll basically support what Warif just said, and I think the most of the information, Mr. Afolabi, I've already said it. Like the basic information there, that's just it. But I think Mr. Dangote too is part of the cabal, so he knows how to go about it. So,
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's part of them, so he knows exactly. I think it's a smart move for him to go to the media, because of course they know themselves. So if imagine Mr. Dangote can't tell us that he's not aware that Tinubu and the Malta has been there for ages.
Yeah.
Why is he now complaining about it? You understand me? So they all know themselves. So the thing is, everybody, like what Mr. Warif just said, everybody is just trying to get their own cut and secure their own portion of the pie.
Yeah.
It's not as if they really care about us that much. So I think it's just basically, let's just continue looking how the whole thing plays out.
And like you said, thank you very much for that point, because Dangote brought that information out. For a lot of times in Nigeria, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but now that we know, and now it's going to put pressure on the government, because Dangote is saying that he'll sell his refinery. If he does that, it's going to be a big scandal. So they now have to modify.
I don't think the pressure is going to be much, because going by the body language of the president, now that we know that he's part of the people, he's part of the game player. So his body language doesn't say that the pressure is really, really much on him. He's going to do what he wants to do. He has been doing that.
And I think to the end of the day, what do you think, Kinas, that one of the issues is that at the end of the day, IMF and the US and Britain and these countries will dictate Nigerian policy no matter who does what in Nigeria. What do you think? Yeah.
Of course, they are still our colonizer. We might be acting as if we are self-independent nation, but they still underneath, they are still running things. So they control our oil, they control our leaders, they control most of our resources. You know, like they are still going to play a big part of it. So I think if we don't have a very good leader that has vision, that is ready to stand up to all these guys, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
For me.
Let me ask you a question. So far, have you seen anyone like that? I know there was a lot of issues between Tinubu versus Obi. I'm more skeptical. I think that even if Obi had won, we need not just a leader, we need to have the Congress and or the Senate or whatever the ruling body. It needs to be a bunch of people. It can't just be one person, because if it's one person, everybody else will fight.
Will be frustrated.
Yeah.
I think for me, this last election, I supported Obi, and I kind of like I did my part.
Thank you. So according to Kule Williams, that means you are literate. That means you are educated. According to Kule Williams, if you didn't vote for Obi, that means you are illiterate. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
I'll support. Yeah, I know, but I will still support that, because I see no reason why, with the amount of information that we have in this last election, that you will tell me that you want to support Tinubu. With the amount of information, the drug, school certificate, and apart from that, I don't even need all those information. I'm well brought up in Lagos Island, so I know him. Even my uncle, kind of like I don't want to go into details. So
don't go into too many details. Some of them.
You get me? I know the kind of person. So I know the kind of person he is. So I don't need anybody to even tell me. I know he's not the right person for it. So definitely, I already made up my mind. So going back to your question. I don't think Obi is the Messiah that we all think. I'm not even expecting that much. What I'm expecting Obi to do, and I believe like the literate person, like you said, like anybody who supports Obi is the literate person. We are not supporting him to do everything. It's just some policy, and probably the most important part of it is the Constitution.
Yes, and progress too.
If we can get our Constitution right, a lot of things will be in place. Then probably the following leader that comes after him, then he can continue for where he stopped. It's not as if Obi is just going to come but at least we just need some things to work. Like our judge now, our judiciary. Can you imagine? Like you can't even. Nobody can guarantee that you can get justice in the courtroom anymore if you are not wealthy. And that's supposed to be the last hope of
the common man.
Of the common man. So I think immediately, this last election exposes every part of Nigeria system, that everything is broken. So we just need to start all over.
And also, I think what you're saying is also true in Kenya, South Africa, Uganda. We now realize what's going on, and this is the next step of the African revolution. What are your thoughts, Afolabi? Thank you very much, Kinas. Very, very good analysis. What do you think, Afolabi? Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. The problem is corruption. We have to get to the level where we have leaders that will appoint cabinet members on merit, on cabinet members that are competent, not transactional. What we have here is transactional. You vote for me, then I give you a position to compensate you. Whether or not you can get the job done doesn't really matter. And then they get into those positions, and it's just same old same. They are not doing anything, So that's why I feel I would have preferred someone like Obi, like my friend said over there, because we wanted someone who would appoint people into positions based on competence and merit, not transactional. Not putting people there because it's supported, because we want to have a piece of the pie. It's high time where we start thinking about the people. It should be a people-centered government. You look at the cost of governance. We are making sacrifices for this country, but the political elite are just living outlandish, lavish, exuberant lifestyles. And then so there's a disconnect. That is why people will go on the streets and start to protest, because they feel we are making sacrifices, but the government is not. You can see they're spending very frivolous, not even people-centered. Their policies are not people-centered policies. So I feel there should be a change. Now, look at the NNPC, for instance. NNPC has spent over 12 trillion on turnaround maintenance for our refineries with nothing to show for it. 12 trillion is about the in USD is about the amount Dangote used to do his own refinery, and it's up and running. So there's a lot of corruption along the value chain that should be correct.
Okay, so I agree.
If we don't change our leaders, it will just it's a vicious cycle that will just continue that
around.
And I agree with you, but I think there's a balance. I think that it's two problems. It's severe corruption, and it's also the control of our resources by Western countries, which want us to pay back all of our IMF loans, which is still going to cut into the amount of the GDP that stays in the country. But the corruption is bad also. But I think that the people need to realize it's not just corruption and better leaders. We need to join different trade groups. If you join BRICS, it doesn't mean that you can't still do business with the US. We need to join into trading agreements which give us more control of our resources. What do you think, Warif? Yeah. But also, I agree with what you said, Afolabi. Part of it is corruption and everything, but also we need to change our economic system in which the West is not eating up. In other words, we need to nationalize our petroleum and our resources, and some of that revenue needs to go into infrastructure and electricity and water and stuff, aside from corruption. What do you think, Warif? Yeah.
Like I always say, our politicians, then going into office, they don't have the masses at heart. Yeah. They are going there for their pockets, me, myself, and I.
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
The Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity.
So if you want the masses to make the sacrifice, you're supposed to make the sacrifice. Okay, let me drift back to the Dangote issue. You from onset, like what I can't remember his name now, what said, they are all the same. You want to tell me that Dangote he was not he was not aware about the condition they're giving to him, but maybe it was just along the line, the game couldn't work out well for him. That was why he came out to complain. So when the going is good for them, they don't come out to complain. But when the going is not favorable to one of them, they come out to complain. Now, they've started with their lies again, telling us that at the end of August, Port Harcourt Refinery will start producing a certain quantity of petrol.
I saw that too. You can imagine.
All those things, they just say
they call it posting. They're posting people.
To me, I'll say it will all enter going to voicemail. They just like the other time they said by the end of December last year, about how many refineries will be working, all nothing. So they are not ready for governance. They're not ready to lead these people. They are just all about themselves. So if the right, like, if Peter Obi might not be the messiah, but he might be the one that will set the ball rolling.
Yeah,
and like,
I would like to say that the part of the country where he comes from,
do it all alone.
If you look at the eastern part of the country with the Igbos, they're running their local and their governments a lot more efficiently than the rest of the country. So we may need to learn something from that. Continue, Warif. Sorry. Even your own state, River State, where people are supporting the governor, and they're not going to allow him to be pushed out. Continue. Sorry. Yeah.
So, like as I was saying, even if Peter Obi comes into office, he alone cannot do it. The Senate, House of Assembly, the ministers, if it's still the same old persons and Peter Obi is different, it won't work out for him. So we just need a complete mindset of this group of people to change, to have a good mindset. If not, we will still be going around in a particular circle.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to end with Afolabi and Kenas. Give us your last thoughts. Very brilliant. And I agree with you guys now that it's corruption. It's not just IMF, because the price of things in Nigeria are too high because we're not producing them locally. And that's corruption. It has nothing to do with IMF. Thank you. What do you think, Afolabi? Yeah.
I just want the government to please keep to their promise by revamping the Port Harcourt refinery so that it can boost production capacity. And we have some local privately owned refineries too. They call them modular refineries. The NNPC can buy and boost their standards too, so that production can, when production is up, the price of fuel will come down.
And
that's
also,
just my take.
Afolabi, we have brilliant people like our last Minister of Oil years ago, Lukman. He had chemical engineering degrees from England, everything. We have chemical engineers, we have technicians. We're like people from India. We know how to construct and build things. We don't need to have any supply chain come outside of our country at all. What do you think?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah. So there are a lot of these local refineries that need to be boosted, with money and facilities and a little bit of technology, just to increase the capacity. Once the capacity increases, the price of petrol will come down. So we're just begging.
Everything else will come down. Everything else.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Kenas, what are your last words before we go back to our Afolabi? And thank you very much. You've added to our show. Welcome to our family. Okay.
Thank you too. But anyway, my last word here, is I want to first of all thank you for this podcasting and information sharing, because I think the more we should try and be sharing information with ourselves more. A lot of people who doesn't have access to information, we need to try and get at least enough Nigerians to be informed, because if we can get a lot of Nigerians informed, we can stand and fight for our rights. Because let me not lie to you, I'm not expecting anything from this government.
Yeah,
nothing is going to happen.
It's the people, but we can force the government.
I'm not lying.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
That is where I'm going. That is where I'm heading to. Yeah. We need to force this government to do some certain things, like that protest. This thing now, everybody now knows that it's not. It is not protesters that is damaging properties and stuff. Everybody now, information is out there. Everybody now knows that it is not peaceful protesters. So you can see that they are countering government with their play. You understand me? So my own thing is, if we can, maybe the next protest, because I know there's definitely another protest coming up very soon. Because this inflation is still going to continue the way it is. No, they are not going to change. That is just they are not going to change.
False promises.
Which I gave the reason why I'm still in this country right now is because I bought into that hope, like, Nigeria is going to get better. Nigeria is going to get better. Man, now I'm 40 plus now. Nigeria is
but you look like you're 21. You look like you're 21.
but the truth is, it is better we start saying the truth to ourselves.
Yeah,
you understand? Right. And we should find a way to force their hands to do things.
That's how it works. And Afolabi, isn't that what we've been saying all these weeks? That if you don't force the government, they won't change. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They won't change.
Yeah. So Afolabi, take us out. This has been a very beautiful show. Thank you very much. And we'll do this again next weekend again. Kenas is going to be coming back a lot more. And also, we're going to give a plug to your music because you're a musician and we want to spread some of your stuff on our cultural channel also. Thank you very much. God bless you. Okay, Afolabi, take us out.
Thank you. Okay,
it's been a wonderful show. We're discussing Nigeria. We're passionate about our country. Like, share, and subscribe. Kenas, it was wonderful having you on the show. We hope to see you more. So you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll start from here.
Okay, good night, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.